So I want to talk a little bit about a young punk kid who drinks a serum, develops superhuman strength, agility, speed. All of his senses are heightened. You might think from that description that I am talking about Captain America, but I'm not. If you want to know what I'm talking about, stay tuned to the video. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. I am continuing to read the various titles that were released by Atlas Comics back in the day. And today we are going to talk about Destructor. And as you heard in that intro, this character is very reminiscent of Captain America. There is no denying that. It is a serum that does something to heighten the senses and the fighting prowess of the person that drank it. And the scientist who developed it was actually killed. Again, that is the quintessential cornerstone of Captain America's origin. But this story was a little bit different from Captain America. And it kind of starts out with a guy who I thought was much younger than he actually is. I actually thought he was more of a teen, but in reality, he's probably more like in his mid-20s, if not a little bit older. But he is mixed up with a crime family. And this crime family decides that he knows too much based upon him seeing some things, and they decide to kill him. They bust in the middle of him having a conversation with his father, who happens to be in his 70s or 80s, and he is the mad scientist, and they're both shot. The father, right before he dies, actually gives to his son this secret serum that he drinks that heightens all of his senses, improves his stamina, his ability to recover from his gunshot wounds. The son lives, the father dies, and the son decides that he is going to avenge his father. He decides that he is going to strike back against the criminal organization that took his father from him when he didn't necessarily like his father to begin with. But that's neither here nor there. So the hero strikes back against the criminal organization, and he basically dismantles the organization piece by piece by fighting the henchmen, by burning factories and disrupting operations. And as you guys are probably hearing this, you're probably recognizing that this is the plot of many a movie that we have seen over the years. And so the kid ends up donning a uniform that his father had created for him. I guess his father wanted him to be a superhero, so he design this uniform that the kid wears, and the kid strikes out against the crime organization. Ultimately, the mob boss is killed by his own men, who break in and basically take aim at him and basically kill him. And the son goes on to realize that he can't stop now that one crime family has been broken apart. He now has decided that he is going to go on and continue fighting crime. So with great power comes great responsibility. My hope when I sat down to read this comic was that it was going to be a fantastic comic. This is one that I remember from my childhood. I had this book as a kid. I don't know if I read it back then, to be honest with you, because I don't remember much of it as I read it this most recent time. But I was excited this time around because I thought that it was going to conjure up lots of memories. But I was also excited about the fact that Steve Ditko had actually done the artwork for this. And his artwork was okay. It was very reminiscent of, if you've ever seen my review of Mr. A, very reminiscent of that comic that Steve Ditko did under his own umbrella. The action scenes were okay, and that's probably where he shined the most, was in some of those action scenes. The dialogue was okay. The plot was okay. But here's the question. Could Destructor be turned into a movie? I don't know. That's the long and short of it, because that's what has inspired me to read these titles is the recent deal where someone has actually bought the library for Atlas Comics and plans to take these characters and turn them into movies. Because the character is so Captain America-like, I don't know if there's enough original idea there to actually work with. Because the character is almost like a combination of Captain America because of the origin and also Daredevil in the sense that his senses are heightened. He can feel vibrations. He can feel like when someone's like moving around, even if they're doing so silently, cat-like reflexes, a little Spider-Man-like. So I don't know if there's enough original content here for them to actually make into a movie that would actually have some substance. I think that they would have to do a lot of additional character development to make it work. And in all fairness, I have not read issues 2, 3, or 4 of Destructor, so I am basing a lot of what I'm saying off of issue number 1, which is primarily his origin story. So there could be more substance that is yet to be revealed to me in those later issues. So only time will tell. I'm actually going to try to read them today, in fact, to improve my understanding. But is there something there? I don't know. Could they work with it? Potentially. But again, I'm doing these videos in service of the fact that there is very little out there in the YouTube community about the various characters that were created by Atlas Comics back in the day. So I hope that you found this video at least a little informative, maybe a little insightful. If you decide to pick up Destructor, at least now you know that you're going to be reading a Captain American origin story. Just putting it out there. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you need to reach me, feel free to do so at Regie Collects on Instagram and regiecollects@gmail.com. And if you do pick up and read Destructor, let me know what you think. Take care.